When many people outside Africa think of the continent, a single image often dominates their minds: a vast jungle filled with wild animals and poverty-stricken communities. This stereotype, largely shaped by outdated Western media, has deeply influenced how the world perceives Africa. But is Africa really just a jungle? The answer is a loud and clear no. Africa is far more diverse, advanced, and culturally rich than these narrow portrayals suggest. In this video, we take you on a journey to discover the real Africa, a continent of innovation, culture, power, and beauty. Globe showing Europe Africa, a continent, not a country. Let's start with a basic fact. Africa is not a country. It is the second largest continent in the world, made up of 54 countries, each with its own languages, cultures, governments, and histories. From the bustling tech hubs of Nairobi and Lagos, to the historic streets of Timbuktu and the luxurious resorts in Morocco and Seychelles, Africa is home to landscapes and lifestyles as varied as any other continent. When people say Africa is a jungle, they ignore the truth. Africa includes deserts, beaches, mountains, savannas, rainforests, urban centers, and yes, a few jungles too. But to reduce this massive and diverse continent to a jungle is not just incorrect, it's insulting. Cityscape: the rise of African cities. Take a walk through Accra, Ghana, Kigali, Rwanda, Johannesburg, South Africa, or Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and you'll find clean, organized cities with modern infrastructure. High-rise buildings, digital billboards, luxury shopping malls, and 5G internet are not exceptions. They're becoming the norm in many parts of Africa. Kigali is often ranked among the cleanest and safest cities in the world. Lagos is a business powerhouse with a booming film industry, Nollywood, and a tech scene rivaling Silicon Valley in growth speed. Cape Town blends mountains, ocean views, and upscale neighborhoods. These cities are evidence that Africa is not behind. It's evolving rapidly and uniquely. Lightbulb: Africa leads in innovation. Contrary to the myth that Africa depends on aid, many African countries are finding homegrown solutions to their challenges. For example, M-Pesa, a mobile money system developed in Kenya, has revolutionized how millions of people handle transactions, especially in rural areas. This technology is now being studied and adopted in countries across Asia and Latin America. In Nigeria, tech startups are disrupting finance and agriculture. In South Africa, renewable energy projects are scaling quickly. Africans are not waiting for help. They're innovating for themselves and the world. Crown a legacy of royalty and culture. Africa's cultural wealth is unmatched. Long before colonization, African kingdoms and empires like Mali, Great Zimbabwe, Congo, Benin, and Kush were centers of trade, education, art, and architecture. Timbuktu was once home to one of the world's first universities and vast libraries of ancient manuscripts. African royalty still exists today, including kings and queens in Ghana, Nigeria, and South Africa who command deep respect and uphold rich traditions. African fashion, music, dance, and cuisine are taking over global stages. Afrobeats artists like Burna Boy, Tems, and Wizkid are performing worldwide. African movies are winning international awards. This is not a continent defined by the past. It is a continent shaping the future. Elephant nature, yes, but so much more. Yes, Africa is home to stunning natural beauty, from the Serengeti and Mount Kilimanjaro to the Okavango Delta and Victoria Falls. Safaris and wildlife reserves are vital to African economies and environmental protection. But here's the truth. Natural beauty doesn't mean backwardness. You can admire Africa's wildlife while also acknowledging its modern industries, universities, airlines, and technological achievements. The jungle is just one part of the story, not the whole book. Television: Why the Jungle myth persists. The image of Africa as a poor jungle exists because for decades, Western media only showed poverty, war, or wildlife. They ignored the skyscrapers, the Nobel Prize winners, the fashion weeks, the tech summits. But the internet is changing that. Now, African creators, filmmakers, YouTubers, and journalists are telling their own stories. And they are powerful. Raised fist medium dark skin tone, changing the narrative starts with us. If you're watching this video and learning something new, ask yourself, why didn't you know this before? And more importantly, what can you do now? Support African businesses, artists, and creators. Travel to Africa and see it for yourself. Share real stories from Africa, not the ones filled with pity or ignorance. Direct hit final thoughts. Africa is not a jungle. It is a rich, diverse, intelligent, and powerful continent. It is rising fast, and its people are proud, resilient, and innovative. It's time to stop talking about saving Africa and start talking about celebrating Africa. This is the real Africa, and the world needs to see it.